Cloud Skidmore, and I am a national ambassador for Zilis. Today is actually month number 8 for Christopher and I. We joined on October 28th, and this has been such an exciting adventure is what we both call it. I'm from the salon industry. Christopher is in the corporate world. He's an engineer, and so our brains have done really well at working this system together. He loves the details of it. I love just sharing the knowledge about the product. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We want to do a couple of things. We want to talk about product CBD. What is it? How does it work? What's it going to do for your body? Then I want to share with you why Zilis. What sets Zilis apart? Why is it the #1 selling CBD oil in the country? And finally, a little bit about the opportunity and what you can do with this as a business if you're so interested. So here we go. Yep. Here we go. Hello, there we go. Zilis was founded in 2015 by Stephen and Angie Thompson, and they actually are neighbors of ours. They live very, very close to us in this area. Stephen and I actually, many people do not know, that we served on Children's Advocacy Board together many, many years ago. So we met. He was actually an ambassador for another company at the time and was in the health and wellness industry, which he has been in for 23 years. And he's a young man, so this is basically all he's ever known. And they have started companies from the ground up. They've been in the development of the product and the sales. And so as we go through this product, you'll see just glimpses of him and of his heart. And I have to say that because Christopher and I had never done anything like this, I've never sold a product from a multi-level marketing company. I sell shampoo. I do hair. I do consider myself a leader in the salon where we have 50 stylists, but he has taken us under his wing. I consider him a mentor, and I'm not the only one. He was recently voted one of the top 40 mentors in the country. So when the interesting thing about another interesting thing about Zilis is that when it first started in 2015, there was no CBD involved in the company. He actually started this company with little vitamin multi packs to send to children all over the world in foreign countries as well to help them with malnutrition. But then just in the fall of 2017, they took the science with that and the water solubility that you're going to learn about and combine that with CBD, and that's one of the major things that sets us apart. So let's talk about that. The endocannabinoid system. Never had heard that word, couldn't say that word for several months when we first got involved, but just to tell you a little bit, a few points about it, the endocannabinoid system, you can see on your screen, it says it was recently discovered. It was discovered in 1993. And so many doctors, it's interesting, I think the fastest part of this that we see growing is the involvement of the medical world. You know, your doctors are starting to talk about it, your PAs and your nurses, all the different medical, you know, when I first got into it, there were chiropractors involved and people in natural health, but now the whole entire medical field is being involved. And it's because, you know, the government said, we're going to take this medical team and we're going to get them to do some research and discover why does medical marijuana heal our body? And in doing that, they discovered the endocannabinoid system. And if you look there, you see 10 different systems that are involved in the endocannabinoid system that travel through our entire body. And when I look at these 10 different systems, it makes me understand why I get one result and the next person gets another one. For example, my chiropractor dropped off a bottle of Zilis CBD oil to me probably mid-October, asked me to try it, and it totally changed my world as far as my muscular system with my back and hips and things like that. But I also had some issues going on, probably from years of medication from the pain and stuff from my back. But I was having major digestive issues, which are no longer an issue either. So you will have one person that you talk to about this product that all of a sudden is sleeping great. The next person is, you know, hasn't been getting sick and maybe their immune system is building. I hear all kinds of stories about people's lungs and different asthma medications that they're, you know, improved from, and their blood pressure goes down. But if you look at all these different things, you can kind of see. But what happens is just with life and aging and illness and different things with our body, we get out of what's called homeostasis, which basically just means that our body is no longer in balance. So the solution to our body not making enough cannabinoids, getting out of balance, and having different issues going on is Ultracell CBD oil. Zilis makes the #1 selling CBD oil in the country. And when we get off of this call tonight, I want you to understand why. And the first one is this slide right here, and it's called Full Spectrum. So for those of you who haven't learned about CBD or had the pleasure to use it yet or dive into the science of it, there's 2 different types or ways that you can take CBD. You can take it as an isolate, which means they removed CBD from the plant and it stands alone by itself. I've talked to several people who started their CBD walk with an isolate and they got some results, but they quickly found out that when you use the entire plant, which is called Full Spectrum, it involves the entire plant and all the things that are in it, like cannabinoids, proteins, omegas, minerals, vitamins, terpenes, and flavonoids. One of the interesting things that terpenes does, which I highly recommend that you dive into each of these things and what they do for your body coming from the hemp plant. But what terpenes do is help move the CBD oil through our body. And so CBD moves through the body quicker, easier, gets to those parts of the body that need it through the terpenes. But they do many other things in our body as well. And so you can see there on your slide that Zilis makes 2 different types of CBD. They make a topical and they make a sublingual. We now have 3 flavors of sublingual. And it really, they sell equally at the salon, but it's really about taste and what you like. There's lemon, berry, and now the newest member to that little family right there is called raw. And I am shocked, but it's my favorite. So raw has no artificial flavoring and no artificial sweetener. And so what they had found is there are some people who have a sensitivity to stevia. And so I think that's kind of for our naturalists and what we call tree huggers and things like that. That was the original issue. But some of the things I do with raw is I use it as a face serum. Many people have discovered that CBD oil in a liquid is great as a skincare regimen product. It's great for acne, all kinds of things. So I thought, what the heck? So it's nice. You can use the raw as a face serum. I use it on my neck and my throat, any blemishes or anything, and it doesn't have any stickiness to it because there's no artificial sweetener. I could sit right here on this slide probably all night and just talk about these 2 products. The topical is fantastic for something that hurts that you can apply this to. It's also great for rashes, and I've got some clients that are using it for psoriasis and things like that. But you want fast results and you want to apply something, a knee, a hip, back, shoulder, arthritis in my hands that I have from doing hair for so long, I can put that on and within a few minutes I'll feel relief. So #1 thing that you're looking for when you're looking for CBD for yourself and for your family is that it's full spectrum. And Zilis is such a superior formulation that it's even pet friendly. We are going to continue to discover more and more things that CBD is good for. We've only just barely hit the iceberg, but one of those things is our pets. And the great thing about Zilis is you can use the exact same product that you're using for yourself for your pets. 1 drop, not dropper, but 1 drop for every 20 pounds for your pet, and they'll get relief from anxiety from like storms, or some pets have anxiety when we leave them. But also aches and pains for your older pets. But anyway, so I'll quit talking about CBD. I won't get off too far there on all the different things that it can do for us. But remember, #1 is that it's full spectrum. Zilis has technology that no one else has. And I highly recommend you dig in and you find that what we're sharing with you is found to be true. So you will find that there are other CBD oils that are water soluble or say they're water soluble, but what you won't be able to find is any CBD that has the absorption rate that Zilis has. And they even took and spent the money in February of 2018 to do a clinical study. And if you look at your chart there, they took 20 people, they gave them CBD oil, And they tested their blood every 15 minutes in the first hour and then every hour after that. And you can see that in many, many people, it spikes up to about 94%. 80% is really your lowest average. And most other CBD oils in the country have an absorption rate of 3 to 6%. And if you look, that's about where those people's feet would be. So it is just, you cannot compare absorption with Zilis and other brands. And I will tell you that from just being a little bit skeptical and being bound and determined that what they were telling me was the truth, I have bought other CBDs, I've tested them, I've dropped CBDs, other CBD products into water, and it's oil, it just sits on the top. Our bodies are made mostly of water, and with using this technology that Zilis uses, when you drop Zilis into a glass of water, it dissolves, and that's like it getting into our body, and we absorb it quickly. So you will find with the CBD oil and the boosters that I'm fixing to share with you, that by using this technology, they get into our body quick, they stay at a high absorption rate for a longer period of time, and that's very, very important. A couple of other things that aren't on this slide that I want to share with you that I feel like are very important when you're shopping for CBD is, where was it grown? Where did the company get their hemp? So CBD uses hemp grown in Colorado and in Kentucky. I mean, I really don't want to use a product that they bought cheap hemp from China and brought it over here and made a product, because what's so important is the type of soil and what is in that soil where that hemp plant was grown, because the hemp plant is extremely porous. And so if that plant absorbs those chemicals and it's used in the product, it's going to get in our body. And talking about chemicals, the way that it's extracted is extremely important. So the most cheap, inexpensive way to extract CBD from the hemp plant is to use heat. And so it's very common and very inexpensive for companies to use butane and other fuels to draw that CBD out of the plant. Again, it's going to get absorbed. You've probably seen different specials on the news where they take several different CBDs, they test them. Some of them don't even have CBD in them. The smell is extremely strong of fuel. They have, you know, all kinds of other chemicals that are in them that are unsafe. With Zilis, they use the more expensive way to extract the oil, and it's a heavy press or a CO2 method. And so they press that oil out of the plant. So it's very important. If you've got an oil product, that's a little bit of a problem, even though CBD is an oil and it's the solution to getting our body back into homeostasis. It's a problem if we just put the oil directly into our body, and Zilis has found a way to make that work with their technology. So you've heard me mention a couple of times about the boosters. On your screen are the 4 different boosters that Zilis makes. And the very most important thing for you to know about the boosters is they don't even contain any CBD. But what they do have is that same technology that we were just talking about that mimics the whole CBD process. And so they are water soluble. So when you take these products, they're going to get into your system quickly, stay at a high absorption rate as well. They're all natural ingredients. They're botanicals. And I'll take each one and try real hard to keep the information limited, because I can go on about these as well. The first booster that was introduced to me, I came in as gold, which you'll see what that is in a minute, so that I could get these products. And then I got them. And I thought, well, I don't want to use them. I'm going to sell them. And someone, thank goodness, told me to open that bottle of ice and try it. Ice is exactly what it sounds like. It is like putting ice on something that hurts. And it is full of turmeric. When you open ice, it's bright orange. It's about the color of the edge bottle there. And it's full of other natural anti-inflammatories as well. But something that I recently heard that just made so much sense is many of us have tried turmeric, used turmeric, taken turmeric, cooked with turmeric, but it's one of the hardest natural ingredients for our body to absorb. So this particular doctor that was talking about ice, he said, you know, I've used turmeric. I've sold supplements to my clients in pain and told them to go buy turmeric. But he said, with this technology that Zilis uses and combines it with those top ingredients, you get fast relief. And so I use ice 3 times a day, not only to, in the beginning, to relieve my pain. Now, there's just so much study about inflammation in the body and what all it causes and different things that can happen in our body. I think that's probably why my gut issues have gotten so much better, is not only the CBD, but combining it with the ice as well. The second one that you see there is called Edge. Edge is for cognitive thinking, focus, energy. When I first opened my bottle of Edge, I used it every afternoon about 2 o'clock. I'd take about a half a dropper. I thought it was, mainly intended for me to get through that afternoon slump. But doing a little bit more study, I knew it had B12 in it, but I thought, I want to know what else is in it. And Edge has about 9 other active ingredients in it other than, I'm getting some background noise. Let me see if I can figure out who that is. I can't. Okay, we'll see if that gets better. Anyway, sorry about that, y'all. When I started studying the ingredients that were in Edge, what I saw is that about 7 of them have been found to have great results with people either that already have been told that they have Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, brain injury, things like that. But also, if you study the ingredients that are in Edge, they've been found with prevention. And so in my family, my dad passed away of Parkinson's, mom passed away from Alzheimer's. Me and my brothers want to make sure that we definitely try to prevent those things from happening. And so they both got a bottle of Edge for Father's Day, and I'll take just a little bit of Edge every single morning. I quit taking it in the afternoon. I'll tell you why here in just a second. But Dream is our 3rd booster, and Dream is the #1 selling booster at the salon, because I want to say it's 83%, maybe more than that, of Americans have trouble sleeping. They either go to sleep and wake up and can't go back to sleep, or they can't go to sleep. Well, that's where I was at. My pain, it was just like a vicious cycle. I would be in pain, it would wake me up. Then when I was awake, I'm in pain, I can't get comfortable, I can't go back to sleep. Well, Dream sits on my bedside table. I only need about 4 or 5 drops of Dream. So Dream is full of GABA, melatonin, chamomile. Many people will get Dream and start taking a full dropper thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot sleep, I've got to have a full dropper. And they actually have crazy nightmares, maybe even get a little jittery. Most people need very small amount of Dream. So that's, to me, the most important thing I want you to know about Dream. And Burn. Burn is the newest booster. It came out the first part of March. My son and I are in the middle of a contest. He's lost about 30 pounds. I've lost about 17. I need to get my act together. I've been lazy the last few weeks. We were consistently losing, and he's still consistently losing 2 to 2.5 pounds a week on Burn. And what it does for us is it curbs the appetite. It totally reduces cravings. I love that part of it. But my favorite part of Burn is it gives me an energy, but it is not a jittery energy. It does not make me nervous. There's actually an ingredient in Burn that's been found to travel through and give the same effect as an antidepressant. And because of the energy that it gives me, that's why I was telling you that I no longer take Edge in the afternoon. I don't need it. Once I got on Burn and was feeling good and feeling the energy from Burn, I didn't need Edge. So I'm totally taking Edge now just for the prevention of the things that I studied that it showed me that it can do for me now and in the future, because I don't want to go down that road. So remember about boosters. They do not contain CBD. They have the same technology and science that is used with our CBD. Now and then. So very important to me, this next slide, because for those of you who don't know me, I am a salon owner, but I also am the founder of Cloud9 Charities, and we've raised millions of dollars over the past 20 years. And we now are 100% operating a program called Bedtime Rescue, where we house the homeless. And we take many families off of the streets every day and put them in local hotels. And so again, like I shared with you, Stephen and I had served on the board for children's advocacy. So I already knew that he had the heart for giving back. And remember, we talked about that when this company first started in 2015, he was totally just making these multivitamin packs for kids. But along the line, he added some other things to it. And he gives millions of prenatals every single day for expectant mothers. And we know how important that is to have healthy babies. But just even since Christopher and I have been involved, the Patriot program has been born and has continued to grow. And I'm so excited to see what comes in the future for our veterans with the Patriot program. In the beginning, we as ambassadors could go onto our account. We could buy a large bottle of CBD, topical or sublingual, and we could send it to a 501c3 that helped veterans recovering from injury, PTSD, all the different things that come from them serving for our country. But since then, it's gotten much bigger than that. They can come on and for free, they can become a preferred customer and continue to get their product at a wholesale level. Now, this past couple of weeks, they can come on and be an ambassador like we are and work this as a business. And boy, do they ever have a story. I mean, we're hearing so many stories when we're in live events where the government is giving them so many different opiates, just trying to make them feel better, something for pain and for sleep and for anxiety. And CBD has been found to help with the addiction to those opiates and to help with their PTSD and other symptoms from serving. So we're so excited to see what's going to continue to happen with the Patriot program and as it grows. But this slide right here shows you what a heart that Stephen and Angie have for giving back. So that's the product. And I want to jump into a little bit about this opportunity. So I told you in the beginning that I own a salon. I told you that we had never done any type of multi-level marketing thing. I told you that Christopher and I call this an adventure. We are having so much fun doing it together, but you know, we had a why, and almost everyone that you talk to that jumps into this opportunity of Zilis as a business has a reason. It might be you've got a child going to college. It might be debt. It might be you wanted to save for travel. For Christopher and I, it was we wanted to buy some property to move the salon. And so that's become a reality for us, and we've been able to continue to move forward with that dream. And it started off that all we were going to do with that is retail profits. And you see there are 7 different ways that we get paid with Zilis. And I'm just going to go over a couple of them because there's so much. But the important ones to me are retail profits. So no matter what level that you come in and you join Zilis, whether it's, you know, bronze, silver, or gold, which you'll see here in a second, you can buy at deep wholesale bulk levels of product. And so you can buy one bottle or you can buy it by the case. And so at the salon, we buy everything by the case, which gets it down to the deepest wholesale amount. So our profit margins are up to 200%. So you'll see that here on this next slide, that you know, you can come in, buy at that unique tiered pricing. The customer can save money. You earn up to 200%, and you're just sharing the product that's benefiting people that you know and care about. The second way that I want to talk to you about that you can make money with a Zilis opportunity is called the binary. So I guess in the multi-level marketing world, there are several different ways that the comp plan can work. Zilis uses the binary, and I love it because since we've never done this before, keep it simple for us. And you just have to build 2 teams, a left team and a right team. And if you enroll someone, you make up to $130 on your own personal enrollment, people that you personally enroll. But you make up to 20% as this thing starts growing and building. You make up to 20% on your team's enrollments. And that can happen through unlimited levels. So once you get to a certain rank, as you see these across the bottom, you unlock so many other infinity bonuses and things like that that you'll see that help your income just to skyrocket. And so talked to you when we first came on that Christopher and I are now at national level. There are several couples that are double diamonds, a couple of new diamond couples in this. And also we have one Black Diamond couple that it's just so amazing to see that these numbers are real. And when it says $30,000 a week, that's only one way that you get paid. And yep, you get capped at that. And I definitely could do some changes in the community with $30,000 a week. That's pretty exciting. So, and the next way that you can get paid with Zilis Opportunity is called residual income. And I call this mailbox money. So if in my business, if I'm not standing behind the chair doing someone's hair, I'm not making any money. So I have to actually physically be standing there to be profitable. And so this is the first time in my life that I've made money when I'm not doing anything. I will wake up in the morning, check my phone, and see that, holy moly, somebody did something amazing. But what this breakdown is that when you sign someone up personally, that's considered your first generation. When they sign someone up, that's second generation, and so on. So for the 6 generations of people that you sign up, you are going to make 5% through your third generation, then 4, 3, and 2%. This is on product sold. So what that means, let me do the math for you. If you sign up people that are buying 1 bottle a month, let's just use it. It goes anywhere from like $1.60 to $4 per bottle that you could be making, depending on what they order and what level they are. So we'll just use $3 as an average. Well, we have 700 people on our team now. I've only personally signed up about 40 of those, but those 40 people have become 700 people on this team. So now every month, this check comes monthly. We are watching that grow so much. So I just see that in today and in the future, as more and more people become part of this, as more and more people are buying this product and you're making commission off of it, this is a huge part of the many ways that you get paid with Zilis. So remember, we talked about Stephen and Angie and how he loves to give back. And, you know, he talks about his days as being an ambassador and how he would go into the office and maybe the girls in the office, their health care was paid, but as ambassadors, it wasn't. And he was like, I'm bound and determined that someday when I create my company and I create the comp plan, I'm going to make sure it takes care of ambassadors. And he's done that. So when you sign up your first 4 people, you start receiving the blessing bonus. And this was so fun. So when you first get in, it goes up to $500, but when you first start receiving it, it's $100. Sure enough, got our check. We looked, you look at the breakdown, there's this $100. And the only stipulation is that you have to give it away. So how many times have you been in line at Starbucks? I've had it happen to me twice now, where I get up to the window and someone has bought my coffee. And it's so cool. But even more fun than that is when you get to return the favor and say, hey, get the guy behind me. And so that's what Christopher and I have done with ours. We're up to $300 per month on our blessing bonus. And what we do with that, I'll tell you, Monday of this week, Christopher works with a guy that took on 3 children that were getting ready to be split apart and put into the foster care system. And he and his wife took them on. I think they met the family through church. And he's been under some stress. And so Christopher took him our blessing bonus and presented it to him on Monday. And if Christopher, I saw him walk by, he just got in from playing golf, but he tells the story. He gets very emotional. That was his first time to be totally in charge of where that money was going to go. And it just thrilled him to death. But when those 4 people sign up 4 people, now you're eligible for a Jeep. So Christopher and I became eligible for the Jeep on day 28 of starting this adventure, but we didn't believe it. We didn't think it was true. We've only had our Jeep about 3 months. We waited. We started seeing other people get their Jeep and we like, do you really get that payment that he promised you? And they're like, yes, you really do. If you choose not to buy a Jeep, you can take the money half in cash. So that's not a bad deal either. Then when those 4 people sign up 4 people, you're now eligible for the health care. And I don't know about y'all, even if you're an employee and your health care is paid, but you have to pay for the portion of your family, it can start adding up. I know for me, before Christopher, I was self-employed and was paying it completely out of pocket. And even just for me as a single woman, it was like $754. When I married Christopher and he added me, he still had to start paying for me. And at that time we had a couple of kids still on our policy. And so sure enough, we took a picture of Christopher's healthcare card and his paycheck stub and sent it to Zilis, and we get that every month at the same time as we get our Jeep payment and our blessing bonus. And so then when those 4 people sign up for it, you now are eligible for the global pool. And this to me is like someone giving me something to put towards my retirement. So they take all of the money from product sales and they take 2% of that and they set it aside and they divide that out between regionals and above. So they determine your portion of that based on what you put into the company. So if you're rocking and rolling and you're doing well, your check's going to be a little bit higher than the guy that maybe didn't sell quite as much. And I like that. When those 4 sign up for, you're now eligible for the motor coach. And so when we first started seeing this, I was like, a motor coach? Well, I don't need a motor coach, but it's starting to sound a little bit more fun, like jumping in it, maybe going to concerts and get your friends to go. But Stephen would totally pay for that. And again, you can also take that in cash instead of the payment to the motor coach. So I talked about that power of duplication and how this thing can grow. And this is just a great visual of that. When you sign up for people that sign up for, that sign up for, that sign up for, you're over 4,000 people that have become part of your organization. And to give you something to kind of lock onto for that, Brian, who is my upline, who started this on October 7th, remember we started on October 28th, he has 6,500 people on his team. So it can be done. And one of the things I like to say right here, you know, people think, well, I don't know enough people, but very much true in our 700 member team with us. It's not the people that I knew. It's maybe someone that we signed up that knew somebody that knew somebody. So don't get too stuck on who you know. I think we all know more people than we realize we do. I know I'm still discovering that every day as I try to dig deeper into who I can share this adventure with. But it's not just who you know, it's who they know as well. So we talk about the growth and the explosion of CBD and what it's doing. And a couple of numbers that aren't on this screen that I find crazy is that in 2017, the CBD sales were at $53 million. And in 2018, they were $700 million. And I know just Zilis itself is growing over 200% per month. And you look at it's expected the industry, these are industry numbers here, and these aren't Zilis numbers. These were, you know, published in Forbes and Fortune and Time and Newsweek. But the hemp industry is expected to grow 700% by 2020. That's less than 6 months away. And then 22 billion by 2022. And 1 trillion by 2030. And someone recently explained to me that a $1 trillion industry of hemp sales is more than tobacco and corn combined as a crop. So we haven't even seen the prohibition of what's happening with hemp. We haven't seen it in our lifetime. And that, you know, now that our governor has in Texas, if you're on here from Texas, you know, it's legal in Texas now to grow your hemp. I think it's going to just be such a blessing to our farmers. If you look at this 90% of success is timing little needle here, when Christopher and I joined, it was about halfway there between concentration and momentum. So that needle is moving. And as Brian likes to say, this train is taking off with or without us. I'm not usually one that is at the right place at the right time. And I'm so excited to feel like I've become part of something that is exactly true, that we were introduced to it. It changed my health, but it also is changing our future wealth as well. And so we're so excited to see that we haven't even really started momentum. So when you look at this and you're thinking about, is now the time? This is your answer. Now is the time. So how do you do this? I love that we don't have to sell this product. I don't have time to go around selling a product, but what I do have time to do is share my story. And so Zilis made that super easy for us. They provided this 7-day challenge bottle. And with that 7-day challenge, you share that with people that you know. You tell them what it's done for you. You ask them what they'd like it to help. My favorite intro into this, if you want to know, is I just say, have you heard about CBD? Do you have trouble sleeping, would like an improvement with anxiety, or need relief from pain? And you're just almost always going to nail one of those with whoever you're having the conversation with. So would you give me $30? I'm going to give you this 7-day challenge, and I'm going to check back with you in 3 or 4 days and see how you're feeling. And almost 100% of the time when I get back with them, they're feeling something. And I'll say, you're going to run out of that bottle here in 3 or 4 days, and you're going to need more of it. And I want you to know that we have that available for you at Cloud9. So that's my intro. That's how I do it. I also have no problem approaching strangers. You'll quite often see somebody rubbing their hands like they're hurting, or they're rubbing their neck, and I'll just dive right in and say, has anyone told you about CBD for pain? So don't be scared. Tell them your story. And so the way that you can come into this opportunity, there's 3 different ways. And no matter how you come in, whether it's bronze, silver, or gold, you're going to have your own personal website. You're going to have your Zilis Cloud, which I love. I love reports. I like being able, I had a phone call tonight with a lady asking if I could take a look at her numbers and help her to understand exactly what she needed to rank up. And because of those reports that are available to us, I could help her with that. But there's also training videos, and there's fantastic. We just got an email that Zilis is going to be open on Sunday because it's the last day of the month, so that any of us that need help, they're going to be available for that. But great support from the company. And then that wholesale pricing that I was telling you about, no matter how you come in, you have that bulk wholesale tiered pricing available to you. So these are the 3 different opportunities that how you can join Zilis. First is bronze. What I say about bronze is that, 1, it's $199, and that you make 10% off of that binary team. So you're making 10% off of the people that come in below you. But you get enough, 1 big one, 1 little one, and that's enough for yourself. You don't have anything to share. So how I just told you that this works best of sharing the product, you can't do it. So bronze for Christopher and I, we have gone in and bought extra spots just to help build our future with this company because we believe in it so much. But it's also just a great way to get started. Or if your intention is to only retail, you can come in at bronze and get everything at that wholesale rate. But if you come in at silver, it's $5.99. Your binary changes to 15%. You get 1 large sublingual, 1 large topical, but now you get 12 of your mini 7-day challenge sublinguals to share. And now you can start doing what we talked about and actually operating a business. The third way to come in is gold. It's $12.99. Now you make 20% off your binary team. And the best thing about gold are those boosters. So you get 1 each of the boosters. You now get 5 large bottles of CBD oil. You get a large topical, and you get 24 of your minis. And I'll tell you, those little topicals are becoming my best friend. I keep those with me all the time. Men respond really well to the topical. They like something that they feel the pain really quick, and that maybe they don't have to, put in their body every day. It's just something that I've kind of found to be true. And so we definitely have had a large increased sales of the topical. So those are the 3 different ways. This entire thing is built, if you just kind of wrap your head around 4 people. Who do I know? Do I know 4 people that know 4 people? That right there, now you're a Jeep earner. Your blessing bonus is coming in. You're starting to have the cash for your Jeep, or you can go buy the Jeep, and you start helping other people to get their 4 people. And so I'm going to stop here tonight. I'm going to unmute it just in case you have some questions. Just a couple of things I want to kind of sum up tonight for you. Number 1, what sets Zilis apart? 1, it is water soluble. 2, it's a full spectrum product, where our hemp is grown and how it's extracted. Those are the things that are so important about the actual product. We have 3 flavors, so you can get the one that you enjoy the most. But this opportunity, it is blowing up, it's exploding. We've watched it happen over the last 8 months. I think it's only just beginning. I don't even think we can wrap our head around the numbers that are going to continue to happen with the hemp product and with this industry. So, okay, I'm going to come on real quickie, and I'm going to turn this off and be back to here. see if I can stop the share. There y'all are. And then I'm going to unmute you. So if it gets too crazy,